Hi everyone, welcome back. Today I am super excited because we are testing out new makeup because it is the beginning of a new month already. So I'm super excited. I got to go to Sephora and I could not resist. I picked up the new Natasha Denona Retro palette. I am so excited to use this. And then I also picked up a few other things. The Jouer highlighter. The new Rare Beauty Perfect Strokes mascara. I just got the mini size because, well, if I didn't like it, I didn't want a full size. I picked up a new Charlotte Tilbury lipstick because I tested out a mini one and it just like transformed my makeup day, and I was like, I should probably get a few more colors of that. And then I also picked up the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Foundation. Sephora recently just had a 20% off foundation sale, so I was like, you know what, that's one that's been on my books for a while, we're gonna get it. So before we get into all this makeup, I would love if you would subscribe to my channel. It would just help me out so much and it means the world to me. So for primer today, I would really like to see how this one performs. So I'm actually going to go in with my Rare Beauty Pore Diffusing Primer because I just want to fill in the pores like right here and maybe a little bit on my forehead and my chin. But this is supposed to be a super full coverage foundation and I just want to see kind of how it performs. As a pore filling primer, this is one of my go-tos because it doesn't feel like that dimethicone pore filling primer stuff that you normally hear about, or not hear about, but touch. And I actually really enjoy that this does not feel all dimethicone and silicone and just feels smooth. It honestly feels a bit hydrating too. Gosh, doesn't that just look like so classy? I love the packaging. I picked up the shade 2 Neutral and I did actually get matched at the Sephora store because, you know, Charlotte Tilbury, I wanted to make sure I got the right shade. So I'm just going to take a pump, maybe 2 pumps on my hand. And I use this foundation brush. So when we did the skin match, we matched it to my neck, which is quite a bit more yellow than my face because my face has a lot of redness to it. I don't think once I put this on, I'll have any redness. So far, that's gone on beautifully. I know I look kind of ghostly, but it matches my neck really nicely. So just like what I normally do, I'm going to use my sponge and just press over everywhere to help get rid of any brush marks and pick up any excess product. Alright, well I'm pretty impressed with that. It covered up my red cheeks very nicely. It honestly even covered up my red nose really nicely, so I might not even have to put concealer there this time. Now, I know this is a full coverage foundation. I prefer that to cover up my redness, but if it's not your cup of tea, I know Charlotte Tilbury has a really good skin tint too. It was on the display. And if you've been matched in this foundation, it should be the same as in the other foundation. So I'm not going to be doing anything too crazy. I'm still going to be using my Jouer concealer, and then I'm going to be mixing my Laura Mercier Translucent Loose Setting Powder with the Brightening Powder from Jaclyn Cosmetics. To set the rest of my face, I'm going to be using my Kosas Cloud Set Powder. I am still absolutely in love with this powder, so I use it most days to set the whole face. For bronzer today, I'm going to be going in with my Gucci one. I have been loving this stuff this summer. I know it's technically fall now, but you know what? I'm still at my summer pale, not my winter pale. So we're still going to use this one for now. And I'm going to start by warming up the cheeks, a little bit on the forehead, and I like to connect it down to my temple area. And I also like to do some down my neck and down my jaw. That doesn't make sense. I like to do it under my jaw and down my neck. And I didn't put any concealer on my nose, but I am going to put a touch of bronzer just to put a little bit of life back into it. So I'm trying to match my blush to the eyeshadow palette, and there's quite a few like purpley, burgundy, rosy shades. So I think the best bet is to go in with my M Cosmetics Heaven's Glow Blush, and this is in the shade Venetian Rose. It's super pretty, definitely very rosy, but I really like the glow it has too. And I like to actually take it on the apples of my cheeks and kind of even bring it in a little bit closer to my nose. I just feel like you can actually get to enjoy the blush when I bring it in a little bit further, because if I just put it on back here and up, I feel like it gets lost some days. So really bringing it in closer to my nose is for my enjoyment when I like go wash my hands and take a glance in the mirror. And then I do like to take a little bit on my nose, and I like to put some up here in my hairline on my forehead. That way I kind of get like a cohesive look. But this is a pretty intense blush, so I am going to go over it with my sponge and just help blend everything together. And now for the highlight, I picked up the shade Citrine, and this is their powder highlight. Looking a little something like that. Super pretty. So I kind of take a smaller face brush for my highlights, and I'm just going to dip into this, and we're going to start on the high points of the cheek. Whew, that's intense. I got a lot on there, but it's got a bit of a more champagne, dang it, I did it on that side too. It's got a bit of a more champagne kind of color to it. Very intense. So I'm going to try to tone it down a little bit with my sponge, because I don't typically wear my highlight that crazy. This will also help it not stand like off of my cheeks. Well, today I think we're just going to have a bold highlight. Before we jump into the eyeshadow palette, I am going to do my brows and put on some eye primer. I'm just going to be using my Kosas Air Brow, and then I'm going to be using the Urban Decay eyeshadow primer potion. So I will be right back. All right, let's dive into this stunning palette. Oh, I am so in love. If I could have added this to my top 10 palettes for fall, if I had it at the time I recorded that, this would definitely be in it, because I love these burgundy shades, and it's got kind of those more mauve tones that I was talking about in some of those palettes. But this is like a really good, like complete mauve burgundy fall palette too. I think to begin, we're going to start in this shade. It's called Vivian. I'm just going to take a really big fluffy brush, and I want this to be my transition color. So I'm going to start above my crease, and it's very pale, so like it's hard for me to see in the mirror. I don't know if you'll be able to see it on camera. I don't know if you can see it, but I actually took that color all the way up into my eyebrows. I actually really like that color. Next, I'm going to go into this shade, which is called Amara. Still using a pretty fluffy brush, but it's a bit smaller than the first one. And I'm going to actually take that into my crease and a little bit above. I'm kind of thinking I want to do a cut crease today, but at the same time, those take a lot of work. But I'm really liking this color too. Blends out very nicely. Obviously, it's a Natasha Denona palette, so it's going to blend nicely. The formulas are pretty set in stone. Cut creases are typically where your crease is at, but because my eyes are hooded, I'm taking this color a bit higher. That way, when I cut my crease, I have to do it above my real crease so you can actually see what I did. Now I'm going to go back into our first brush. I'm not going to pick up any more color, but I just want to blend out those two shades a bit more. So now I'm going to take a pretty small fluffy brush, and I'm going to go into this shade, which is called Groove. And I'm going to deepen up where my real crease is, and just take it a smidge higher than my real crease. That way when I cut the crease, you can still see that color. And once I get the pigment kind of where I want it to be, you kind of have to pack on some pigment. I'm going to just use small circular motions to kind of blend it together. I know it looks a little crazy right now. Don't worry. Now we're going to go back into Amara. I'm just going to take the tiniest amount, but we're just going to blend a little bit more on that line from the dark color to this color. And then we're going to go back into our very first color, Vivian. And I am going to pick up a bit more pigment, and this is literally in my brow to blend everything. I've been trying some different techniques on how to cut my crease, but for today we're just going to be using some micellar water. I actually did pretty good on that side, so let's hope I can do that again. Now I'm going to take a little bit of the Juvia's iPrep iPrime eye primer, and we're just going to fill in that cut crease. I don't want it to be super pigmented, so I'm not taking a lot of it. Alright, now that my nerves are shot, let's go back into the darkest purple, which is the Groove shade. And I'm going to be filling in this outer third here, and also stamping it a little bit onto that primer to help blend it. But I've got to be careful that I don't take it higher than that color in my crease area. Next, we're going to start diving into some sparkle. I'm going to go in with this shade, which is called Helio. And I'm just going to be using my fingers because I think that's the best way for Natasha Denona shimmers payoff-wise. And this shade I'm just going to stamp right in the middle. But it's kind of hard to get right in that crease area, right where my lids kind of fold. So I am going to go in with a flat brush and just get the rest of that pigment in that crease. Oh yeah, that's a really pretty color. I could actually take that all the way in and I would be happy. But there are more colors that I want to try. So for the last shimmer shade, we're going to go into this one, which is called Glitz. Now this is a brighter pink, but I am going to start with my finger like I did the first shimmer. And then I'm actually just going to take the other side of that flat brush I was using and dip into Glitz to finish filling in that area. This Glitz shade kind of has like a holographic reflex, so you get some purples, you kind of get like a light teal shade. It's actually really pretty. Now I'm just kind of doing some blending with the darkest purple, that Groove shade, the Helio shade, and the Glitz shade, just to make it all a little bit more cohesive. Now for the lower lash line, I'm going to start with the Groove shade, and I'm just going to start that on the outer third here and make sure it connects up to our top lid. Next, I'm going to go into that Amara shade, pinch the brush a little bit, and that's going to be in the center of the lower lash line. And we're going to blend it into that Groove shade. And then I'm going to take a small little brush and go into that Vivian shade, the first shade we went into, and that will be the inner portion. Now, I will say the shimmers do have a little bit of fallout, so maybe you might want to use, or you might want to do your eyes first, but that's not something that really bothers me. So I'm okay that I have a little bit of fallout. I do try to sweep it away, but I mean, if it doesn't go anywhere, hey, I just got extra glitter, and I'm okay with that. And then for the inner corner highlight, there's actually a pretty white shade. It's got like the tiniest hint of pink in it. It's called Maud. So this is what I'm going to use for my inner corner, and I'm just going to try to brighten this up just a touch. And then for just one last sweep, I'm going to take the big fluffy brush that we started with and just go along all of the edges, up here by my brow, out here, and even under the lash line, just to make sure everything is nice, well blended on those edges. So I'm going to put some mascara on, and then we will come back for the lips and finish up the... So I forgot to mention, I did use the Rare Beauty The Perfect Strokes mascara on my top lashes. This is the wand, and it's huge. It's really, really big, so I was terrified to use it on my lower lashes, so I just used my Maybelline Sky High mascara for the lower lashes because the wand is super thin. But for the top lashes, I actually really like it. It separates your lashes really nicely. I don't think there's a lot of volume to it, but it's quite lengthening. I do think, though, that once I run out of my mini version, I will probably purchase the full size, because I do like it. And then I did also add a little bit of a glitter line where my cut creases with some Urban Decay Heavy Metal glitter. Now on to lips. My eye look turned out a little bit more purple than I anticipated, and my new Charlotte Tilbury lipstick is very peachy, so I think I'm going to pass on this one. But I do have a mauve lip gloss from Fenty Beauty that I really haven't gotten to use a lot, and I think today might be the day. So for lip liner, I'm going to go into my KKW Beauty Mauve number 3 lip liner. Well, that's one way to do it. That totally just snapped off. Okay, we'll try again. I just resharpened it. Dang it, it just broke again. I really haven't gotten to use this lip liner more than like twice. So I think it's crazy, it's just breaking. Alright, enough of that. And then I've got the Fenty Cream Gloss Bomb Cream in the shade Mauve Wives. And I think I've only used this color once, but it's one of my favorite shades, so I'm really happy it turned into a mauve purpley look. So here's our finished look, and I have to say, I'm in love. I am super impressed with this eyeshadow palette. I absolutely adore it. And again, if I could have added it into my top 10 palettes for fall, this would have gone in there, because even though I did a little bit more of a glam look, these are very fall toned colors. This thinner shade that I use, that Helio color in that eyeshadow palette, I think that might be my favorite. I am in love with it. I also really enjoyed how well the lip turned out with the eyes. I think they're a perfect combo. I know they're both kind of like statement colors, like statement in the eyes, statement in the lips, but I'm happy with it. As for the rest of the products, the Charlotte Tilbury foundation, I am happy with. It's not sticking to any dry patches really. I mean, I have a pretty good blemish here on my chin and it just glided right over. It doesn't look cakey or anything on top of it. I think this will be a winner in my book. The Jouer highlight is intense, so hopefully next time I just remember that and don't go in super heavy-handed. But I do really enjoy the color. It's got a more like champagne-y golden ivory color, which are my favorite colors to use. I really like ivory and champagne colors. I think it worked out really nicely. For this look, with how purple the eyes are, I probably would have gone with a more pink highlight next time, but I'm good with this. I know I like this one now. Again, the mascara, the wand is huge, so I wasn't comfortable using it on my lower lashes, but I do really like it on my top lashes. I don't think it's got a lot of volume to it, but it's got a lot of separation and length to it, which is perfect for me. And I think if I just want a more volumized mascara look, I might just use my Maybelline Sky High one. For more natural days, use this one. I do really like it, so I think if it doesn't smudge or flake today, I would probably buy the full version, the full size. And then the last product was a Charlotte Tilbury lipstick. This is in the shade Bitch Perfect. I didn't use it today because it's a lot peachier than the eyes today, but I will swatch it for you. It's a lot more pinky peach. It's super pretty and I'm really excited to use it. Again, I tried the Pillow Talk lip liner and lipstick a little while ago and it just completely transformed my makeup day from being a good makeup day to like a bomb makeup day. And then I gotta go to Sephora and I was like, I probably should get some more Charlotte Tilbury lipsticks because I want bomb makeup days more. But yeah, those are the new products we tried out today. I will be testing them out a bit more throughout the month, but I think today turned out stunning. I'm really, really happy with it. You'll have to let me know if any of these products are on your wish list or if you have picked them up and how you feel about them. I do hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, I would really appreciate a thumbs up. It just helps me out and lets me know you are enjoying the content. I am here on Tuesdays and Fridays, 10 a.m. Mountain Daylight Time, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you.